So from this variable model that we have here, we have student motivation, classroom aesthetics, student attitudes, and a schema-based learning curriculum, organized curriculum. And I wanted to see how these variables interchange and play a part in student motivation. So with any good actual research projects, you have to have a literature review. And these are some of the sites that I pulled it up from: Project Lead the Way, the International Technology and Engineering Education Association, the National Research Council, and the Educational Research. And I really wanted to dig in to see, what type of factors and how the literature can show that these factors play a part in one another. So it all leads to the misperception of 21st century tech ed, where you have industrial arts versus engineering education. Now, when you deal with manual arts, this is more of the old school technology education, wood shop, graphing, printing, things of that nature, which is trades and gilded operations. It tells you how well a machine works, the design process, the technical breakdown of complex machinery. So you have that side, but then you have the more 21st century side. And because we have the 21st century side, which is going to be more tech jobs, more engineering jobs, more critical based, more problem solving based. You have computer aided design, materials and property breakdowns and stress analysis. You have a math and design, this stuff is also combined with math and design. So you could prove, if you're going to be in engineering, you have to prove with the math or with the data your point. And this is led by Project Lead the Way or some other pre-engineering curriculum. But Project Lead the Way was founded in 1997 by the defense industry in Silicon Valley due to the fact that they needed more engineers. There was a huge shortage of that. And then, of course, you have optimization in engineering, schema-based learning. So when we talk about schema-based learning, we're talking about the post-cognitive process. And so when we have the post-cognitive process, how does students click on and have that aha moment and learn from other sides? So of course, organizing a curriculum and then having that curriculum always on them so they can access it from home, do their homework, research YouTube videos themselves. That's a very important part of the learning process. Also, tracking student notes and thought patterns throughout complex problems is also important because when you have complex problems, it's just like you want to make sure that the kids are getting these types of concepts. So, looking through their engineering notebooks and looking at their works, making sure that they're taking down chunks of information and in a timely pace. And of course, prerequisites. So, whatever you learned in introduction to engineering design should be carried over to principles of engineering. So, CAD, conversions, things of that nature. So, when you're actually in there, you should be able to do the work. And of course, student attitudes. So, the impression of the class, is it going to permeate student thinking? If you have students who have an impression that this is going to be easy A, it's going to affect the environment all around them. So it's better if those students, not to say that every those students don't need to be in my classroom, but those students need to be anywhere but my classroom, because they don't have the right mindset going into the classroom in the first place. And is a student engaged in study? And this leads to student responsibility where, you know, you have this bogus ideal of student rights and it frees the student of any type of accountability. We have to hold our students accountable, or they're not going to have the right type of attitude and the mindset going on to a post-secondary institution. And when you have that, we're giving them the wrong type of ideals. So when a kid has a very rigorous assignment or a project and it comes back as a failing grade, they shouldn't be coming to me saying, "Oh, you didn't teach us this, that, and the fourth," where more than likely I gave them ample time to do the project. And students must take responsibility and willing to go through due process for their own accountability. As teachers, we go through due process for anything that was, inappropriate or a complaint against us and otherwise. Students have that same right. So the bogus idea of student choice, where they feel that they're entitled to stuff, is actually giving them the wrong impression of what they're supposed to be doing in the classroom in the first place.